Hello friends, this is Grunhar, and today I would like to show you how I ended up making this 3D artwork. I hope you enjoy it. So last week I posted a short video on my Instagram page. Um, Let me show you. Here it is. So on Reels. Yeah, on the top left, this one. So it's only 4 seconds long and it also comes with an audio. So I'm gonna turn it on. So it's just this really simple animation with an audio, and within a few days after posting it, I received more than 1,200 views, and it is a lot to me, honestly. And I think the most plays I got so far was, oh, definitely this one. I did Vulgar's fan artwork and it got more than 2,600 views. Wow. So yeah, and for others, I don't think that's much. Yeah. So as an commemoration, I thought it would be interesting to make a breakdown video for this artwork. So yeah, and this is my first attempt to do that. Okay, so before I move on to the Blender section, I would like to talk about a little bit more about the song I'm using. And I always cite or write the song I use for each post. And this one as well, I used a song called Spaz Out by Subfiltronic and Bad Face. I have the SoundCloud page right here. Um, it's this one, and I think some of you may already know, or I think many of you heard it before, since it's pretty popular among the dubstep rhythm scene. Although it is 8 to 9 years old since the first release, I think you hear it very often in music festivals or DJ sets like Everything Rhythm, and you will find many remixes or bootlegs on SoundCloud. And this time I used a remix version or a bootleg, I don't know, made by Neonix, who is um, actually one of my best favorite artists of all time. And yeah, I didn't use the original, I used the remix version for this artwork. So yeah, that's about the song. What else to talk about? Yeah, and a little bit more about Neonix. When I try something new or when I experiment on something, I always use him as a test material. And actually, I posted a video using his face. Um, if I could go a little bit further back, yeah, this one. So I wanted to test my OBS settings for recording the video, like this one. Um, I used his facial image to make a wacky visual using resident wire, and I wanted to record a video like as if it's like a tutorial video, and I wanted to test all the displays, microphone, camera, and the digital body that you're seeing right now, like almost everything. And yeah, for this one as well, I used him as a test material. So if you're interested, you can watch it later, maybe. So yeah, that's about it. Um, let's move on to the Blender section. Okay, so this is my Blender project file you're seeing. And as you can see, I made this blower. What is blower? I made this blue flower thing using Blender. And where to start? I am a person with multiple hobbies. I do illustrations, I do DJ, I do VJ, visual performance stuff. I like to make merch. I like to make weird music. Um, mm, I like to, um, yeah, so many things going on. And I also do a little bit of 3D as well. And recently I realized that I haven't done anything 3D. So I thought it was a good opportunity to relearn how to make 3D stuff again. So yeah, that was the starting point. And then I went on to YouTube and tried to find some nice tutorials. And then I found this nice 10-minute simple tutorial made by M Design. So yeah, I chose this one to relearn the basic controls and, you know, all other settings or um, user interface and whatnot. And maybe some of you know I tried the donut tutorial. Uh, I think I managed to go through almost half, but I kind of gave up. Um, I wanted to try something more simpler, and I didn't want to feel like terrible, like uh, using Blender and not knowing lots of stuff. So I wanted to keep it simple and small for the first step. So yeah, nothing bad about that. So yeah, I made this flower thing, and although the video was 10 minutes, 10-minute long, it actually took me a few hours at least, I think. I think that's because maybe the settings were a little bit different, I think. And sometimes maybe I pushed the wrong key and, went back and tried to do it again in a correct way. And, things like that happen. And I think that's why it took me longer than I thought. But it was okay. I finished it, so it's good. So yeah, let's take a look closer. So it looks like this, and I painted the flower petals light blue and yellow for a sphere thing in the center. And for the stem part is actually dark gray. I wanted to add weird vibe to it. I know it is a flower, but I wanted to add an unrealistic vibe to it. So yeah. So I made this using a simple mesh. What was the name again? Mesh. Yes. Um, I made this with a cube and sphere and curve and a cylinder for the vase part. So that's it. But I made a slight difference compared to the original. So I'm gonna disable the flower petals for now to see the difference clearly. So in the original, they make you make the top sphere, the yellow thingy, a little bit more bigger to cover the gaps between the petals, but I kept it small so it will look like a lamp. See? It looks like one of those lamps you can get at IKEA, don't you think? I thought it was cool, so I kept it like this. And I also like the opening space here. So when I turn these back on, they're all back. So you can see these slight opening or gap or void. I don't know what to call it. You can see these opening here like this, and you can see the light reflections and shadows here. I think it's cool. So yeah, it's pretty simple. And what else? Um, oh yeah, I use cycles for rendering engine this time. I think for most Blender users, I think it's either Eevee or cycles. We have Workbench as another option, but I don't hear much about it, so I'm gonna just leave it there. Um, so if you choose Eevee, it's a lighter version of the rendering engine, and it renders pretty quick, but it has more um, simple quality to it. So if I can just switch to Eevee, it looks like this. Maybe you don't see much big difference, but here, especially in this spacing part, the gap part, you can see the shadows or light reflections are kind of rough, right? Like this. And if I turn this back to cycles, it will look like this. So cycles have more sophisticated quality to it, but it takes more time to render the whole thing. But for the quality, like this shading or shadows, these here, it looks more nicer, I think. So for this project, I chose cycles for the engine. And if I move this around, it has a grainy touch to it, but if I keep it for like few seconds, it will be finished. You know, the rendering. Yeah. And for the animation, I think it took like an hour and a half to render the whole sequence of animation, but I think it's all worth it. Yeah. And what else? And yeah. For the device, I chose GPU compute. I talked about the rendering engine and the object itself. So um, what else? So yeah, I made the object and I was satisfied, of course, but I was like 60% satisfied, not 100%. And I thought it would be nicer to make the flower thing move around, or make it dance or move something around. So I went back to YouTube and found a simple tutorial to learn how to animate the object. And then um, here, I'm gonna move it slower to see it more clearly. I made this animation like this. So for this one, I made the flower petals move like this and like this in the end. It's pretty simple, but I think it's nice. Um, and while editing the animation, my thoughts went on and thought, um, I want to make the flower move to the sound, which I like. And I went back to YouTube again to find a tutorial how to um, import the sound file. And this one was pretty easy. Just choose the file and just attach it to it. And then I thought which song to import. And this was simply and purely an inspiration. And I wanted to use this SPAZZOUT remix. I know this flower thing doesn't have any, or maybe, I don't know. I think it depends, but uh, it's not straightly connected to dubstep. So I thought it would be interesting to match these two as an interesting combination. Creating something interesting is like a chemical reaction, I think. So yeah. And then what did I do next? Yes, after importing the song to the video editing interface here, so here, and then I first listened to the whole song and I had to choose which part or segment is suitable for this animation. And my idea was that I wasn't going to make an animation for the whole song, so I just wanted to pick a juicy part of it. And then after listening to it several times, I decided to use this part. This juicy part where Kylie Minogue says, "Can't get you out of my head." So yeah, this part. And I cut out the part I'm using to 4 seconds, and maybe I have also adjusted the position of the audio clip. Yeah. And then after that, I'm gonna talk about a little bit more about the animation. So yeah, for easier demonstration, I'm gonna drag this part up here because you can't see with my own head. and maybe drag it here. Zoom a little bit out. So yeah. For this artwork, I added animation to each flower petal. So for example, this one. So if I select this one, it shows 5 keyframes in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And for this project, I set the FPS frame per second to 30, and the video length is 4 seconds, so that's 120 frames in total. So you can see this lighter gray part as an available, whole time frame. Okay, so for the first keyframe on frame number 1, I've just set the initial state of the flower petal, so nothing has changed yet. I think it's more better to show you this one as well. I'm gonna show you here. So you can see the values for location, rotation, and scale. So here, these are the original values. And then towards frame number 30, so something's happening, right? The flower petals are moving. And for this part, I only changed the values for rotation. So for location and scale, nothing has changed yet. So it's like this. And then it starts to show the alien side of this flower. So it's not an ordinary flower anymore. And then from frame number 30 to 60, I kept the state as it is, like this, for 30 frames. And then from frame 60 to 70, something's happening again. You can see that the flower petals are shrinking, like this. So for other values, I haven't changed anything, like this. Yeah. And then as for the final part, from frame 70 to 80, it has more dynamic motion to it. So it's like this. So for this part, I changed the values for rotation and scale. So the flower petals are growing bigger. And at the same time, the angles are changing like this. Like this. So yeah, that's it for the animation. And from frame 80 to 120, I just kept it as it is. It's pretty simple. So yeah, if I just play it from the first with the audio, it will look like this. So, yeah, that's about it. But I'm going to add one more thing. I did one thing on purpose for the animation. So if you listen closely, you can hear a loud snare hitting around the frame, maybe 75, or maybe before that. you can hear a loud snare hitting. Yeah, maybe 74 or 73. Yeah, maybe 73. I don't know. So, what I wanted to do was to make these flower petals go bigger when the snare hits. I wanted to um, make it like audio reactive, you know, make it move to the sound. Yeah, so that's what I did on purpose for this artwork. And I think not many of you will notice, but the motion is actually slightly delayed to the sound. Yeah, you can see that the flower petals are moving slightly slower than the actual, the sound of snare hitting. And I wanted to keep it like this because I like this a little bit off, a little bit off from the grid, but it's still kind of matching to the sound. Um, I don't know how to explain it. I kept it like this because I wanted to make it a little bit delayed to the sound, but it is still matching to the sound. So it's not really far away. And of course, at this point, I can hear some of you saying that, well, you can just keep make the fifth keyframe towards to frame number 75 or 74-ish. Yeah, that's also possible to make it more the motion sharper and more audio reactive and kind of modern, but I like this kind of it's not vintage, but kind of primitive vibe to it, and I like it personally, so that's why I kept it like this. So yeah, that was another comment I wanted to state here. That's pretty much it, I think. So yeah, here it is. This is my first breakdown or the making of SPAZZOUT FLOWER video here. I hope you all enjoyed it. Before finishing it, I'm gonna comment on the whole thing. When I first created this project file, I didn't have any complete plan to make this thing that you're seeing right now, and I kind of repeated the cycle of, you know, make something and then get inspired or get an idea and then just experiment. And again, you repeat it again and again. And I thought it would be interesting to show you my process of creating art. And I wanted to show you my raw human behavior. So this is also like this video itself is also an experiment, and I think I'm gonna make this kind of content more in the future. Maybe it's kind of nice to share this zigzag creative journey of mine, and it's also like a good activity log for me. So I'm gonna do it However, some of you say this is not interesting, or I don't know. I just like to, uh, leave a trace. I just like to make um, my experiment logs. Um, that's it. Am I saying things right? What am I saying? Yeah, so that's it. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you have anything, let me know in the comments. And until then, have a great day and see you next time.